All right, everybody, welcome back here, RTC TV4, as we get set with game number 2 of our coverage here at Frankton in the 12U state finals. We saw a thriller in game number 1. Fairfield came back after being tied going into the 6th. They got 5 runs in the top of the 6th and win 7-3 over Madison Grant in game number 1. So they'll advance to Saturday and play at 1 p.m. Madison Grant will play at 9 a.m. against the loser of the Frankton-Plymouth game. Fairfield will play that winner. That game is going to be our first game tomorrow. Here up next is going to be Lewis Cass and your Rochester Zebras. Lewis Cass comes in as the number 3 seed out of District 2. Rochester qualified as the number 2 seed out of District 1. The winner of this game plays Saturday at 3 p.m. against the winner of the Bremen-Mississinawa game. The loser of this game plays at Saturday morning at 11 a.m. against the loser of game number 4, which is Bremen and Mississinawa. So the two teams are getting their final warm-ups. Let's go through the lineups here for you. For Lewis Cass, starting things off, number 12, Anderson Emmons playing second base. Batting second, number 22, Wade Taco, the shortstop. Batting third, number 44, Brody Williams, the first baseman. Batting fourth, number 10, Riley Johnson, the right fielder. Batting number 5, number 3, Brennan Dieter, the catcher. In the number 6 spot, it's number 13, Bryce Rudd. He'll be playing center field. Number 7 batter is number 27, Lathan Reeser, the pitcher. In the number 8 slot, number 17, Gavin Smith, an extra hitter. Number 9 is going to be number 5, Griffin Wolf. He's third baseman. And batting in the 10th slot, number 8, Julian Davidson. He's playing left field for Lewis Cass. For the Rochester Zebras, batting first, number 29, Wyatt Davis, the center fielder. Batting second, number 5, Drew Bowers, the second baseman. Batting third, number 10, the pitcher, Tanner Reinarts. Cleaning things up for Rochester tonight, Big X, number 13, Xavier Vance. He's playing short tonight. Batting in the 5th slot, number 6, Grant Clark, the catcher. In the number 6 spot, number 2, Brady Morgan, the third baseman. Batting 7th, number 18, Callan Fervida, the left fielder. I got to check this because they've got left field in 2 spots here. Sorry about that. Fervida in left, Isaiah Escobar in right field is batting number 8. Batting in the 9th slot, number 17, Wesley Haynes. He's going to be playing first base. Wade Bowers, Brock Hook, and Owen Prater will be available for substitution for the Zebras. Again, we thank you for tuning in to our coverage here at Frankton. Thanks to all the folks here at Frankton. They've just been very, very helpful. Anything that I've needed help getting set up. Came in yesterday and did the testing, got into the building, and appreciate all the help from everybody here at Frankton. Beautiful park. Lights are on as we get set for game number 2. Ought to be a good one between Lewis Cass and Rochester. We'll have that coming up for you next here on RTC TV4.
Batting second, number 5, Drew Bowers, playing second base. Batting third, number 10, Tanner Reinhardt, pitching. Batting fourth, number 13, Xavier Vance, playing shortstop. Batting fifth, number 6, Grant Clark, catcher. Batting sixth, number 2, Brady Morgan, third base. Batting seventh, number 18, Kellen Furberda, playing left field. Batting eighth, number 12, Isaiah Escobar, playing right field. Batting ninth, number 17, Wesley Haynes, first base. Available reserves, number 3, Wade Bowers, number 7, Brock Hook, and number 21, Owen Prater. Batting for Lewis Cass, number 1, number 12, Anderson Emmons. Batting second, number 22, Wade Taco. Batting third, number 44, Brody Williams. Batting fourth, number 10, Riley Johnson. Batting fifth, number 3, Brennan Dieter. Batting sixth, number 13, Bryce Rudd. Batting seventh, number 27, Lathan Reeser. Batting eighth, number 17, Gavin Smith. Batting ninth, number 5, Griffin Wolf. Batting 10th, number 8, Julian Davidson.
All right, everybody, welcome back here as we get set for game number 2 of our coverage here tonight on RTC TV 4. Lewis Cass taking on your Zebras. Lewis Cass going to be the visitors on the scoreboard, and Rochester will be the home team. It's going to be Emmons, Taco, and Williams leading things off for Lewis Cass. Tanner Reinhardt's on the mound starting things off for Rochester. And he starts it off with a strike. We are underway here with game number 2. Winner advances to play the winner of Bremen and Mississinawa. They will play Saturday at 3 p.m. Reinhardt's quickly dealing 2 strikes to Emmons. Oh, that one in behind him. One ball, 2 strikes here. Leadoff batter Anderson Emmons, second baseman for Lewis Cass. Misses outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, out number 1. Reinhardt's had 15 strikeouts on Sunday in 2 appearances in 2 games for the Zebras. That brings up number 22, Wade Taco, the shortstop. Brody Williams on deck. That's going to be fouled off. That one probably rattled his hands a little bit. It sounded like he hit a little bit on the handle right there. 1 ball, 1 strike to Taco. Fouls that one the same spot. Count goes to 1-2. Just misses outside. Count goes to 2-2. Beautiful night here in Frankton. Humidity's still down. It's going to get a little warmer, I think, as the week goes on. There's a shot. That's going to be out in the center. Taco's going to be aboard with a 1-out single for Lewis Cass. Starts things off. That's going to bring up number 44, Brody Williams, the first baseman, with Johnson on deck. Swings on that one for war strike number 1. There's a shot up the middle again, right out in the center. Good job of staying in front of that one by Davis, but 2 aboard now with 1 down. Couple of hard hit balls there by Lewis Cass, and that brings up Johnson with 1 down and runners on first and second. On deck is Brennan Dieter, the catcher. Tanner gets that one in for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes for Johnson. That one gets away from Clark. Runners advance over to second and third. Still just 1 out here in the top of the first. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Johnson. There it is, swing and a miss. Johnson goes down for out number 2. So with runners at second and third and 2 outs, the catcher, Brennan Dieter, coming to the plate with Bryce Rudd on deck. Reinhardt misses that one outside. Rochester trying to get out of a little jam here. Got runners on second and third. Dieter swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Taco on third. Williams on second for Lewis Cass. And there's strike 2 to Dieter. And a swing and a miss, and the Zebras get out of a jam with 2 aboard. So Lewis Cass gets no runs on 2 hits. They leave 2 on base after a half an inning. It's Lewis Cass 0, Rochester 0. When we come back here in the bottom of the first, it's going to be Davis, Bowers, and Reinhardt for the Zebras. Be back in a moment. You're watching RTC TV4. All right, Wyatt Davis leads us off here in the bottom of the first for Rochester. On the mound, Lathan Reeser for Lewis Cass. Swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike for Davis. That one catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Davis going to have to protect. There's a shot over to short. Play over to first in time for out number 1. Davis goes down with the 6-3 putout. Bringing up number 5, Drew Bowers, the second baseman. Number 10, Tanner Reinhardt, the pitcher, on deck. There's a shot. Nice hit by Bowers, but out in the center, and the catch is made for out number 2. Well hit ball there by Drew Bowers, but right to the center fielder. So with 2 down, number 10, Tanner Reinhardt comes up with Xavier Vance on deck. There's a shot. That's right out to the center. And a nice catch going away by Bryce Rudd for out number 3. So Rochester goes down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. And after 1, the score stays 0-0 between Lewis Cass and Rochester. We'll be back here in just a moment as we get into the top of inning number 2. Bryce Rudd, Lathan Reeser, and Gavin Smith coming up for Lewis Cass. All right, welcome back here. Top of the second, all knotted up at zeros. Number 13, Bryce Rudd leading things off here for Lewis Cass. Tanner Reinhardt's on the mound for Rochester. Lathan Reeser and Gavin Smith going to be your first 3 batters. Swing and a miss by Rudd, strike number 2. Reinhardt's with 3 strikeouts to start the game. This is outside there for ball 1. And a swing and a miss. Out number 1 on the strikeout for Reinhardt. It's going to bring up number 27, Lathan Reeser, the pitcher, with Gavin Smith on deck. Hey, I like this, a lefty. There's a shot popped up to shallow center. Coming in, Davis makes the play for out number 2. Davis got a nice jump on that one. This brings up Gavin Smith, the extra hitter, with Griffin Wolf on deck. There's a shot over to Vance at short, and not able to complete the throw over to first. My angle, I couldn't tell if that was a throwing error or a catching error. We'll just call that an E question mark. So an error on Rochester. Smith is aboard with 2 down. That brings up Griffin Wolf with Davidson on deck. Two balls, no strikes. So Reinhardt's behind 3-0 here to Wolf. 1 on with Davidson on deck. And Wolf gets the walk. So with 2 outs, Lewis Cass now has 2 on for Davidson. Presents the bat on the bunt attempt for strike number 1. Play over to third, and Clark gets it over there to Vance, but a little bit late on that one. So the runners double steal at Vance. Smith in at third, Wolf over to second. Davidson, no balls, 2 strikes here with 2 outs. Let's see if the Zebras can get out of this inning here. Second time that Lewis Cass has had runners at the second and third. And a swing and a miss, and they get out of this jam as well. So no runs, no hits. The Lewis Cass Kings leave 2 on, and no score here after an inning and a half. When we come back here with the bottom of the second for Rochester, it's going to be Vance, Clark, and Morgan. Be back here in just a moment. You're watching RTC TV4. All right, leading things off here for Rochester, Big X, Xavier Vance. Nice one over the middle there. He thought about it and then laid off. Pitcher for Lewis Cass, Lathan Reeser here in the second. Vance grounds one over to second and in time for out number one. It's going to bring up number 6, Grant Clark, with Brady Morgan on deck. Reeser catches the outside corner. Strike one on Clark. Well, thank everybody for tuning in. We are on Twitter at RTCTV4. If you want to tweet me, I'll give you a shout out live on the air. Kent Kaufman, thanks for your good words from the Fairfield Youth League. And we enjoy it, so thanks for the shout out there from Kent Kaufman and the Fairfield Youth League travel team. And we saw them win an exciting game in game number 1. They'll be playing Saturday at 1. So congratulations to Fairfield on their win. Seen them a lot coming out of our district, so good program up there. Of course, the returning state champs here in 12U. 3 balls and 1 strike now for Clark. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And Clark is going to get on with a walk. And that's going to bring up number 2, Brady Morgan. Callan Fervida on deck for the Zebras. All right. This cracks me up when they do that. They the pitcher will be like, oh, the ball's, something, and then the ump will look at it, and then the ump just puts it back in his bag. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll give you a new ball, and then I'll just put this one back in my bag for the next time. So this isn't a major league, so they're not going to get a new ball because they get a dirt scuff on it. Morgan swing and a miss there for strike 1. That one low for ball 1. There's a nice shot. Oh, it's going to die down quickly, though, and popped out over to first. Looked like it was going to travel a little farther for Brady than that. So he pops out to first, and that's going to bring up number 18, Callan Fervida, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. On deck is Isaiah Escobar. Fervida a little ahead of that changeup. Going to be fouled for strike 1. And fouls that one back. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs here for the Zebras. All goose eggs on the board so far here in game number 2. That one in the dirt. Hook running for Clark out there. Courtesy runner for the catcher. Takes second on that, uncontested. That one misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a shot. It's going to find the gap. Fervida is going to be in. Hook is rounding and going to score. So the Zebras on the board. Good running there by Brock Hook. And Fervida in with an RBI single. That brings up Isaiah Escobar with 2 outs. There's a shot. Should be playable over to first in time, but the Zebras get on the board with the Fervida RBI. And after 2, Rochester leads Lewis Cass by a score of 1-0. We'll come back here for the top of the 3rd. And it looks like we're back up to the top of the lineup. Emmons, Taco, and Williams for Lewis Cass. When we come back, you're watching RTC TV4. All right, welcome back here. Starting off the top of the 3rd, Rochester leading 1-0. All right. Got everything straightened around here. Leading it off, Anderson Emmons, Wade Taco next, Brady Williams in the hole. Reinhardt's on the mound, starting things off here in the 3rd. That one's going to be a ball. Two balls, no strikes for Emmons. Wade Taco on deck. There's one from Reinhardt's. 3 balls, 1 strike. Zebra is able to break the goose egg in the bottom of the 2nd, get a run on. Emmons makes it a full count. Reinhardt's with 5 strikeouts in 2 innings. Oh, just misses that one. Looked good, but just a little bit high, the umpire says. So Emmons on with a leadoff walk for Lewis Cass. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 22, Wade Taco, with Brody Williams on deck. Taco shows bunt. That's going to go foul. I think that might have jarred his hand a little bit there. He looks maybe popped a thumb on that ball or something. Bunting is a fine art, and you're sticking your hand out there and exposing it to the bat. So they're going to attend to Mr. Taco here as he's got a Like caught a nail maybe or something right there. So a little bit of a stoppage here while they attend to him, as there's one on here for Lewis Cass. So we'll take a quick break while we're waiting and be back in a moment. All right, so Wade Taco took a nice shot on the finger there on that bunt attempt. They were able to get him bandaged up here. Looks like he's going to be good to go. So very resilient young man right there for Lewis Cass. Back to action here in the top of the third. One on, nobody out. No balls, one strike here for Wade Taco. Hey, I want to give a shout out to, you can see Paul Browning out there working on the mound right there. He's a member of the board here for Frankton, and he's done a fine job getting things ready here for this tournament, and been very, very accommodating for us. So while he was on the camera there, I want to give him a quick shout out. All right, back to the action. No balls, 1 strikes for Wade Taco. That one misses for ball 1. We've got runner on first. Anderson Emmons walked to lead the inning off. Brody Williams on deck for Lewis Cass. That was going to get away. Nice job there by Clark, though. He keeps it within range, keeps Emmons at first. Lewis Cass got 2 runners on in both of the first 2 innings, but not able to punch anybody home yet. Have a runner on to start things off here in the 3rd. That one's going to be popped back out of play. Count goes to 2-2. Beautiful night here in Frankton. You couldn't ask for better weather. Not too hot, but you know, it's summer. You want to have some heat. So beautiful night here for a baseball game. There's a shot. Can they turn 2 over to second? And Vance doesn't get it over in time, but they get the lead runner on the fielder's choice for out number 1. So Taco is on. Bringing up number 44, Brody Williams with Riley Johnson on deck for Lewis Cass. There's a shot. That's going to find the gap in left center. Taco is at second, and Williams is in with a single. Bringing up Riley Johnson with Dieter on deck. Reinhardt gets that one in for strike 1. So 3rd inning in a row here. Lewis Cass has 2 aboard. I think they had 2 aboard in the 2nd with only 1 out as well. So let's see if Rochester can get out of another jam here in the 3rd. So far been able to hold the Kings from scoring. Cleanup batter number 4, Riley Johnson. Number 10, Riley Johnson, batting number 4. 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Johnson. The count is full now for Johnson with Dieter on deck. Let's see what Reinhardt's can do here. Trying to get out of a bit of a jam. And that's going to walk the bases loaded. Second walk of the inning here for Reinhardt's. And Coach Vance is going to go out and talk it over here with Tanner and the crew. Kind of see what the calm everybody down a little bit here. We have 1 out. Dieter has 1 plate appearance on the evening. It struck out back in the 1st inning. All right, everybody's going back to their spots. Coach Vance. Brennan Dieter up at the plate with Rudd on deck. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike for Dieter. Reinhardt gets that one past him for strike 2. Bryce Rudd on deck with Reeser in the hole. Dieter goes down swinging for out number 2. Brings Rudd to the plate with Reeser on deck. Smith is in the hole. That one misses low for ball 1. Morgan in at third. There's a shot. Vance slips it over to second for out number 3, and Rochester able to get out of a huge jam here into third. 1 hit with 3 base runners left on. Rochester is really dodged a bullet. They've Lewis Cass has left 7 base runners on, unable to punch anybody home so far. After 2.5, the score stays Rochester 1, Lewis Cass 0. When we come back with the bottom of the third, it's going to be Haynes, Davis, and Bowers coming up. Thanks for watching RTC TV4. Be back here in just a moment. All right, welcome back. Bottom of the third here for the Zebras, leading 1-0 after 2.5. Wesley Haynes going to lead things off here for the Zebras. First time to the plate. They're going to say that he went around. Lathan Reeser on the mound here again for Lewis Cass. That was playable out of the park there. A nice attempt by Brody Williams over there trying to get on that one, but that's going to drop for strike 2 to Haynes. Wyatt Davis on deck with Drew Bowers in the hole for Rochester. There's a pop over to third, and the throw is going to be high. Haynes is going to be in with a error to lead things off. Throwing error E5 puts Haynes on. Number 29, Wyatt Davis comes up with no outs. Drew Bowers on deck with Reinhardt's in the hole. That one gets away. Haynes is going to move over to second. Three balls, no strikes for Davis. Haynes on third, Bowers on deck. Davis is going to square up, show bunt. And that's going to be ball 4. So first 2 runners on for Rochester for number 5, Drew Bowers. Drew had a nice hit back in the first, but right to the center fielder for the out. On deck, the pitcher, number 10, Tanner Reinhardt's. There's a shot. It's going to be drop right there into shallow left. And I'm not sure what the call was. Any ideas there? He looked like he did this and this and this. So I guess the end result is he is safe, as Haynes had to hold up there with that pop. So Reinhardt's comes to the plate with the bases loaded. We've seen this before. There's a shot in the left center gap. That's going to get all the way to the fence. 1 run is in for the Zebras. Second run rounding third. 2 runs in. Reinhardt's in with a double. 2 RBI double for Tanner Reinhardt's. And that brings up Big X, Xavier Vance. Bowers on third, Reinhardt's on second. That's going to get away. Bowers. And Bowers scores. Reinhardt's moves over to third on that pass ball. Three runs in now on the inning for Rochester. Makes the score 4-0 in favor of the Zebras. Lewis Cass coach out to talk to his pitcher, Reeser. That's going to find the outside corner for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Vance. Vance grounded out to second, his only plate appearance here this evening. That one outside. On deck, the catcher, number 6, Grant Clark. Got 2 bases open. They're probably not going to give Vance anything that he can hit. Got him swinging a little early on that changeup. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Reeser not afraid to go after it. Let's see what happens here with full count. And that's going to miss. Vance walks. Brings up the catcher, Grant Clark, with runners at the corners. Brady Morgan on deck. Vance going to take second uncontested. One ball, one strike for Clark. Runners at second and third. Still no outs here in the bottom of the third. Gets that one in there for strike two. Winner of this game will play the winner of Bremen versus Mississinewa. That'll be game number 2 tomorrow night. And Clark goes down swinging for out number 1. It's going to bring up number 2, Brady Morgan, the third baseman, with Callan Fervida on deck. There's a shot. Backhand play over to first for the out, but Reinhardt scores. So a sack single sack out. Gets one run in. Reinhardt scores. Vance moves over to third. So with 2 down, Fervida comes to the plate. Fouls that back. Scores now 5-0 in favor of the Zebras. There's a shot over to second. That's going to be trouble. Fervida is going to be in, and Vance scores. It's going to bring up Isaiah Escobar with Haynes on deck. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. That one's fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes here for Escobar. Haynes on deck. He led off the inning for Rochester. And that's going to do it. Escobar's going to go down swinging, but the damage is done. 5 runs across for Rochester here in the bottom of the third. And after 3, it's Rochester 6, Lewis Cass 0. We'll come back with the top of the fourth for the Kings. It's going to be Reeser, Smith, and Wolf. Be back here in a moment on RTC TV4.
Now batting number 27, Logan Reeser.
All right, welcome back. Top of the fourth. New pitcher here for the Zebras. Xavier Vance on the mound. Switches spots there with Reinartz. So Reinartz moves over to short. Also in the outfield, left field, Wade Bowers takes over for Fervida. And in right, Owen Prater is going to take over for Isaiah Escobar. Lathan Reeser leads things off here for Lewis Cass. It's going to be Reeser, Smith, and Wolf, the first three batters here for the Kings. Lewis Cass has had some base runners here through the first three innings, just not able to punch anybody home. Left two on in the first and second innings and left the bases loaded in the third. Rochester able to get a run in the second, and then the big one in the third where they got the 5 runs across. Three balls, one strike here for Reeser. And Reeser's going to take the walk to start things off for the Kings. It's going to bring up number 17, Gavin Smith, the extra hitter. Smith reached on an error back in the second. Made it around to third where he was left stranded. There's a shot over to second. Reinartz goes straight over to first. For the out, they get the out. Reeser able to advance. It's going to bring up Gavin Wolf with one out here in the top of the fourth. That one gets away. Reeser's going to get over to third. Wolf walked back in the second, his only plate appearance of the evening. Two-0 count here for Wolf. Vance misses outside. Count goes to 3-0. Davidson on deck with Emmons in the hole for Lewis Cass. There he goes, finds the zone. 3 balls, 1 strike. Wolf walks. That puts runners at the corners for Davidson. 0 for 1 on the evening, struck out back in the second. Bowers trying to make sure he's on the same page, getting the play off of his playbook there that they keep on their belts. Davidson shows on that for strike one. Vance hits the outside corner. So he's starting to warm up. When he starts to hit his spots, he's dangerous because he throws it hard. A swing and a miss. That gets away from Clark, but it's quickly rounded up. Out number 2 on the strikeout. Wolf moves over to second. That's going to bring up Emmons, the leadoff batter. Struck out and walked in his 2 plate appearances here this evening. Kind of a familiar scene out here for Rochester with 2 on for Lewis Cass. Let's see if they can continue. Been able to hold Lewis Cass off of the scoreboard. Kings have had at least 2 runners on every inning with 3 left on in the 3rd. Vance gets that one across for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 on here in the top of the 4th. Emmons, a nice swing there, but that's going to be strike number 2. Emmons able to foul that one back, stays alive. Two balls, 2 strikes for Emmons. And the strikeout, and the Kings leave 2 on again as Emmons goes down on the strikeout, and we stay 6-0 in favor of Rochester after 3.5. Come back for the bottom of the 4th for Rochester. It's going to be Haynes, Davis, and Bowers. Be back here in a moment on RTC TV4.
Number 17, Leslie Haynes.
All right, welcome back here as we get set. Bottom of the 4th. Haynes going to lead things off again here for the Zebras. That's going to be popped up, playable, and 1 pitch, out number 1. For Rochester, that's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, number 29, Wyatt Davis, with Drew Bowers on deck. The big story of the game right now is Lewis Cass has left 9 runners on through 4 innings. and not been able to punch anybody in. So that's going to make it hard for any team to pick up a W when you can't get those runners in. That's the difference between where we're at with the 6 runs for Rochester and the 0 runs for Lewis Cass. Rochester able to get that run in the second and then follow it up with 5 in the third. Two balls, no strikes here for Davis. Drew Bowers on deck with Reinhardt's in the hole for Rochester. Good eye there by Davis. That was close. Able to get the third ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. And Davis is aboard with 1 out. It's going to bring up number 5, Drew Bowers. It's going to be a ball for Bowers. There's a shot out into center, and a good jump out there in center field for Lewis Cass by Rudd. That's the second shot that Bowers has had sharply hit out into center that Rudd has taken away from him. So you got to give Rudd a lot of credit out there. And Reinhardt comes up. He had he's 1 for 2. He shot 1 out to center in the first, but then he was able to get that RBI double back in the third. Count goes to 2-0 for Reinhardt's. Xavier Vance on deck for Rochester. There's a shot that's going to go right up the middle. Davis is on his horse. He rounds second, and he's in at third, standing up. Reinhardt's is going to be in with a single. That's going to put runners at the corners here for Xavier Vance with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. There's a shot up the middle. That's going to get past the center fielder. Davis is home. Vance is going to be in at second. Rounding is Reinhardt's all the way from first, and Reinhardt's is going to score 2 RBI double for Xavier Vance. And that's going to bring up Clark. So 2 more runs in for Rochester with 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. So 8 runs across here. The Zebras trying to see if they can't make this an early game. They got 8 in. They can keep this thing going. New pitcher for Lewis Cass is number 13, Rudd. So I guess he didn't make that catch out in center field after all. That's going to get past the catcher. I'm guessing that Resser moved out there in place of Rudd. I can't tell from this distance. 2 balls, 1 strike. And Clark goes around, so 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be popped up in the shallow center. That's trouble. Vance is going to score. Makes it 9-0 with 2 outs, and Brady Morgan coming to the plate. Three more runs across here in the bottom of the 4th for Rochester. If they can find a way to get one more run in, this game will be over. Wade Bowers on deck. He came in replacement of Colin Fervida. That's going to be fouled off for Morgan for strike 1. There's a shot over to second and over to first, so the Zebras go down. Out number 3. They get 3 here in the bottom of the 4th, and after 4, it is Rochester 9, Lewis Cass 0. Take a quick break and come back here for the top of the 5th. All right, here we go. Leading off the top of the 5th for Lewis Cass, Wade Taco. There's a popper over. That's going to be kind of in between. And everybody's kind of looking there. Haynes, Vance, and Bowers kind of, that was kind of an in-between ball. There wasn't anything really anybody was at fault with. It's just a well-placed ball there by Taco, and he's going to be on. We'll just call that an infield single to start things off for Taco. Vance on the mound here for the 2nd inning. It's going to be a foul ball for strike 1. That's outside. Taco going to move over. Fouled back by Williams for strike 2. Riley Johnson on deck for Lewis Cass. 2 runners in the first, 2 runners in the second, 3 runners in the third, and 2 runners in the fourth for Lewis Cass that reached base and were unable to score here in the top of the fifth, the Kings. And Williams goes down swinging. Taco moves over to third. It's going to bring up number 10, Riley Johnson, with 1 out and 1 on. Brennan Dieter on deck. Johnson has a strikeout and a walk in his 2 plate appearances. Vance misses just outside ball 1. Oh, it hits him in the helmet. I think it just glanced his helmet, but in the head shot. So that puts Johnson aboard with 1 out. Runners now at the corners. They're going to go over and just check Johnson out, make sure everything's okay. Bring up the catcher, number 3, Brennan Dieter, with Bryce Rudd on deck. Swing and a miss by Dieter. And ball goes out into left center, and 1 run is going to score. Taco able to come home, and Johnson moves over to second. So the Kings get on the board here in the top of the 5th. Swing and a miss for strike 2 for Dieter. Nice job by Clark. That was a close play over at third as Johnson advanced on the pass ball. One ball, 2 strikes here for Dieter. He's got a strikeout. Nope, he's got 2 strikeouts on the afternoon. And strikes out for out number 2 for Lewis Cass. That's going to bring up the pitcher, Bryce Rudd. One on, 2 outs here in top of the 5th for Lewis Cass. That's a foul tip for strike 1. That one misses outside, so 1 ball, 1 strike here for Rudd. There's a shot over to second. It's kind of dying there. That could be trouble. And they get it over there. Great play by Drew Bowers at second. That ball just died right there before it hit the turf, or the grass, out of the dirt out of the turf. And good job there by Bowers. Gets the 4-3 put out and ends the top of the 5th. Lewis Cass gets 1 run, and after 4.5, it's Rochester 9, Lewis Cass 1. Take a break, come back here. Bottom of the 5th for Rochester. It's going to be Bowers, Prater, and Haynes coming up when we come back. All right, we're leading things off here in the bottom of the fifth for Rochester, number 3, Wade Bowers. Rudd on the mound here for Lewis Cass. That misses outside, ball 2. Three balls, no strikes here for Bowers. On deck for Rochester. Number 21, Owen Prater. Wesley Haynes in the hole. Rudd gets that one in for strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Winner of this game plays Saturday at 3 versus the winner of game number 2 tomorrow night, which is going to be Bremen and Mississinawa. And Bowers gets the leadoff walk here for Rochester. Bringing up number 21, Owen Prater. It's going to be Owen's first plate appearance of the evening. That's going to be fouled back out of play. Goes after that one a little bit low there. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Prater. One on, nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth for Rochester, leading 9-1. Trying to finish things out here against Lewis Cass. Prater's first plate appearance here, coming in relief of Escobar. And he's going to go down swinging for out number 1. That's going to bring up Wesley Haynes with Wyatt Davis on deck. There's a little dribbler. It's going to get down out in the center. Bowers is going to have to get there, and not in time. He was holding up in case it was caught, and able to make the play in on Bowers. Gets the lead runner. So that's going to be out number 2. Haynes is in at first, and Wyatt Davis comes up with 2 outs. Davis sends one. Nice. Oh, got through. I was going to say great play there by the second baseman. And Davis is aboard. We'll call that an infield single. And that's going to bring up number 5, Drew Bowers. 1 walk to go with 2 pop outs into center for Drew tonight. Those 2 were very hard hit balls. Haynes thought about it and decided that he was going to go back to second. Haynes on second, Davis on first. 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 5. Nice job there by Haynes. Able to get over to third, and Davis moves to second. 2 balls, no strikes here for Bowers. Inside. 3-0 count. Tanner Reinhardt's on deck for Rochester. If Bowers gets aboard with 2 down. There's a shot right over the middle. This might do it. And they got him. Oh, Davis got it. Great play from center for out number 3. And we're going to the 6th. 1 run does score, but the score after 5 is Rochester 10, Lewis Cass 1. So we're going to come back for the 6th here. It's going to be last chance here for Lewis Cass. It's going to be Reeser, Smith, and Wolf when we come back here in just a moment. You're watching RTC TV4.
Number 27, Lathan Reeser.
All right, Lathan Reeser going to lead things off here. Vance on the mound for the 6th for Rochester. That one in there for a strike. One ball, 2 strikes here for Reeser. In the bottom of the 5th, Rochester had 1 run on 2 hits, left 2 runners on base. Reeser able to stay alive. Lewis Cass down to the last 3 outs here unless they can score a bunch of runs here in the top of the 6th. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Reeser. That was popped up. Should be playable. Coming in is Vance for the out. Out number 1. Brings up Gavin Smith with Griffin Wolf on deck. Smith fouls that back off the fence, strike 1. Vance with some smoke right there gets that one in for strike 2. Vance finding his stuff here tonight for Rochester, doing a really good job. And gets that by Smith for out number 2. 1 out away from ending this one. Griffin Wolf to the plate. He's got 2 walks on the night. Davidson on deck for Lewis Cass. Just misses on that one. That gets in there for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike for Wolf. Two, down to the last strike here for Lewis Cass. That one's going to miss. Count goes full for Wolf. And that's out of play. Wolf stays alive. Oh, nice catch. All right, payoff pitch number 2. In the dirt, Wolf is going to walk with 2 outs. It's going to bring up Julian Davidson. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts on the evening. That one got stuck into Vance's hand a little bit there. Seemed like he released it a little bit late. 2 balls, no strikes. Davidson up with Emmons on deck. Taco in the hole for Lewis Cass. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Davidson just gets out of the way of that one. That was a good job by Davidson just to get out of the way. That ball was coming at him quick. 3-0 count here, Davidson. Zebra's trying to finish things out here in the top of the 6th. And he's going to take the 4-pitch walk. So Emmons comes to the plate with 2 outs, runners at the corners. And we're going to have a little conference at the mound here. See what Coach Vance decides to do here. All right, everybody goes back to their spots. Runners at the corners for Lewis Cass with 2 outs. Leadoff hitter Anderson Emmons at the plate. That one misses inside for ball 1. 2 balls, no strikes for Emmons. Wade Taco on deck for Lewis Cass. Vance finds the strike zone, makes it 2-1. Gets him on that one, strike 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here for Emmons. Let's see if the Zebras can close things out. That's going to miss high. Count goes full. And Emmons draws the walk. So bases now loaded for Lewis Cass with 2 outs. Wade Taco comes to the plate. Taco 3 for 3 on the night. Rochester had 2 outs with nobody on. Now the bases are loaded here for Lewis Cass, trying to find that 3rd out here. Two balls, no strikes for Taco. Gets that one in for a strike. Not out of the realm of possibility. We saw Rochester do it the other day against Fairfield up at Denver. They got 8 runs with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. So trying to get that 3rd out, and that's going to punch a run home on the walk. So Taco gets the walk, brings up Brody Williams. Two balls, no strikes here for Williams. Johnson on deck. Two balls, 1 strike for Williams. Gets that one in there for strike 2. A 2-out hitless rally here by Lewis Cass. Bases loaded. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Williams. See if Vance can find this 3rd out. That's going to get away. Count goes full. 3rd time in this inning. We've got a full count here for Lewis Cass. And one more with 2 outs. So new pitcher coming up here. Gonna be number 5, Drew Bowers. Trying to finish things off here. Five straight walks for Rochester with 2 outs. Puts 2 runs across. 3 times there was a full count. So trying to find that 3rd out. Let's see what Bowers can do here with bases loaded. So we're going to take a quick break as we get Drew Bowers warmed up here, trying to get that 3rd out here in the top of the 6th. Be back here in a moment. You're watching RTC TV4. All right, that was quick. Drew got warmed up. He's ready to go. And he gets that one in there for a strike against Johnson. No balls, 2 strikes here. Johnson's going to have to protect now, down to the last strike. That one's going to miss just low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, just inside. Two balls, 2 strikes now for Johnson. So count goes full after an 0-2 count here. Johnson with Dieter on deck. Oh, it just misses. That's going to walk another run in for Lewis Cass. Looked good there. Got ahead of him 0-2 and 4 straight balls. Walks in the 4th run of the inning, or of the game, 3rd run of the inning for the Kings. Dieter has 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts here on the evening. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And that does it. Dieter goes down swinging for out number 3. Lewis Cass gets 3 runs on no hits. They leave 3 on base for the top of the 6th. So Bowers comes in and gets out number 3, but 3 runs walked in the 6th by Rochester. Final score here tonight is going to be Rochester 10, Lewis Cass 4. Rochester will advance. They will play Saturday at 3 p.m. against the winner of game number 2 tomorrow, which is going to be Bremen and Mississinawa. Lewis Cass drops down to the losers bracket. They'll play Saturday at 11 against the loser of that Bremen Mississinawa game. So your final score here from Frankton, Rochester wins. Final score 10-4 over Lewis Cass. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank all the people here at Frankton for wonderful hospitality. They've been a great help here all night long, bringing me food and drinks and anything that I need here. So thank you very much. We're going to probably be back here tomorrow night with a couple games. It's going to be game number 1. That ought to be a good one between Frankton and Plymouth. And game number 2 would be Bremen versus Mississinawa. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night here from Frankton. Again, final score, Rochester 10, Lewis Cass 4. Thanks for tuning in to RTC TV4. Steve Stricker saying goodnight. Thanks to everyone back at the office, Scott Sager, and everybody for helping out. Saying goodnight here from Frankton.